Hey everybody, welcome back again here for another video at what you're watching. Today I'm doing a review of Catwoman Hunted, latest DC animated movie to come out. I honestly thought this movie might have been really interesting. It had potential to be really interesting, but it missed the mark. And it's not good this yet. Okay, let me get into it before I do anything else. Now, Catwoman Hunted starts off really interestingly enough, because it starts off with Catwoman arriving at a costume party, and she meets Black Mask, but she's wearing the OG, or that's the original classic Catwoman costume. We saw that costume in Batman Brave and the Bold, what Catwoman was wearing, that costume there. It was a really nice throwback to see her wearing that costume. It was cool. It was a good way to start off the movie. Okay, it was really interesting. Now, while the animation quality is better than what DC Animated Universe has been using as of late with their animated movies, it is still subpar and unimpressive. It kind of looks like it's somewhere between Japanese animation and a cartoon, but you can't really they couldn't really decide on which way they wanted it to go, so it's kind of being pulled in both directions. So it sort of looks like that, and that's not really doing it justice at all. Now you get some characters in this movie, and a lot of them really had no reason to be there, but some of them are there for some of whatever reason they're there. Now we have Catwoman, obviously. Then they bring in Batwoman. We have Black Mask. We have Tobias Whale. We have Cheshire. We have King Faraday. We have some Batwing woman called La Dama, Solomon Grundy. You have Dr. Zin, Talia Al Ghul, Mr. Yakuza. A lot of characters are mixed into this, and the majority of them don't even need to be there. They're just there, some kind of reason to take up space, I guess, but it's not very interesting. They don't really contribute much to the movie apart from just kind of hanging around there. Now, one of the funniest, and I say funny, but kind of funny, interesting, funny, amusing parts of this movie. As we know, we have Batwoman in it, and not CW Batwoman in it, right? We have Batwoman in it, but Batwoman is voiced by Stephanie Beatriz, who you all may know better as Rosa Diaz from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, or she also did the voice for Mirabel in Encanto. But her doing the voice for Batwoman didn't seem to mesh, because Batwoman is a white woman, and it's kind of weird hearing Rosa Diaz's voice coming from Batwoman. It just didn't seem to properly align. I mean, nothing against her. She's a good actress. She's a good voice actress also. Loved her in Encanto, but it didn't mash well at all in this movie to begin with. It just didn't mash. But again, as I say, one of the funniest parts is that Catwoman now actually start to kind of seduce Batwoman, which was wearing a towel. She just starts seducing her, and she get close to kissing her, and then there's bam, out of the blue, she just kind of totally vag block she. It was funny. It was really funny to see that happen, to see her just vag block Batwoman like that again. But that led to another problem in this movie. Batwoman really had no reason to be there, other than they were trying to push some kind of underlying lesbian, bisexual angle that didn't seem to work, because Catwoman is in love with Batman. So having Batwoman there in this kind of underlying role, like she kind of flirting with she, but trying to be serious, and it just did not work at all. If you wanted a Bat in the movie, you could have brought in Batgirl. She and Catwoman has always had a kind of little rivalry thing between them, so that could have. So having that rivalry kind of play off with the two of them would have made the movie move along a lot better. But instead, you have Batwoman there, kind of like this backup on the line, kind of slowly panting for she, but never getting she kind of thing. I mean, yeah, we throw in a little sexual tension, but it doesn't work if it's not Batman and Catwoman. It really doesn't. And it just came out looking very, very stupid. Now, all these so-called bad guys that it had in the movie, they all went down way too easily. I mean, literally, just way too easily. You had like Tobias Whale getting stabbed a couple times, and then Batwoman, and then Catwoman smashing his head in or something like that, and falling down, kicking him in the balls, something like that. You had one who actually turned into a kind of robotic mech suit sort of thing and get taken down. You had this next woman who was summoning demons, and then how did she get beaten? Batwoman threw some glue on her mouth so she couldn't talk to the demons, and then Batwoman tell the demons that, you know, she want them to leave, and they're gone. And that was so stupid. And then even when you had this whole thing now with Catwoman and Batwoman fighting Cheshire and this Batwinged woman, they got Cheshire and this Batwinged woman get taken on way too easily. And then you have this man now, Mr. Yakuza, who says he's a sword master trained by so-and-so thing, gets taken out by Catwoman in one move. I'm not saying Catwoman is not a good fighter, but come on, you could have mixed it up a little bit, throw in some action. They get taken out ridiculously easy. It was boring to watch. And then when we go off, now we have the rest of this movie, you're basically seeing Batwoman and Catwoman one-shotting people. You have ninjas from the League of Shadows coming after them and them taking them out with one blow. Each of them just one punch, one kick. It even had one where Catwoman's cat, her cat Isis, actually take down a ninja. It was ridiculous. It was really ridiculous, and they were trying to play it like all the men in this movie were just pretty much stupid. It was just, after a certain point in time, the movie just started to make no sense. You weren't sure what the story was, because it was originally that Catwoman went to steal this priceless jewel, and then you had Interpol and Batwoman and some villains after her, and they were trying to get her to do things. Okay, we get all of that, but you never made the movie really interesting, because there was this underlying theme that this organization that they were that Catwoman was going after, they had been doing human trafficking, and they were trafficking these girls. Leviathan, that's the name of the organization. They were trafficking young girls, using them as human slaves and that kind of thing. But you never see you hear that Catwoman disrupted that some human slave trading that they had going. She disrupted that organization, but you never see it. It would have been much more interesting for this movie had you made it that she stole the gem, and the gem had some information to find this next group of people that group of women that they're using as slaves, and she goes in there along with either Batman or Batgirl and breaks up the organization, has to fight off some of them and stuff, and then, you know, she still ends up stealing the jewel in the end, and you could have she and Batman probably sailing off somewhere, you know, after she does the jewel, or it could have been some little rivalry between her and Batgirl, and, you know, something along those lines. It would have been much more interesting had they done that, but instead the movie goes about they want to use Catwoman as bait to catch Leviathan, and then after they do that, the leader Leviathan ends up sending these League of Assassin ninjas after her, and she and Batwoman are just one-shotting them, and you're not even sure why Batwoman is there. She's just hanging around in this kind of weird, I'm pining for you kind of nonsense. It it was just very disturbing. And then all of a sudden we get to find out now that Barbara Minerva is the leader of Leviathan, and she's Cheetah, and she transforms into this weird Cheetah. I mean, after they end up fighting Solomon Grundy and he gets his head blown off, and it was just ridiculous. Cheetah shows up at the end, and Minerva transforms into this bigger version of Cheetah and goes after Catwoman. And you think, okay, you might get an interesting fight here. No, the whole thing ends when Catwoman literally chokes Cheetah. Then Cheetah gets struck by lightning, falls from this construction crane, gets impaled on a bunch of spikes, which should have killed her instantly. But somehow she's alive, and they put in a collar, some kind of inhibitor collar on her, and then you get to find out that she wasn't the leader of Leviathan. It was really Talia al Ghul. It made no sense. The whole thing made no sense. They seemed that they were trying to tell some kind of story, but they left that story behind and just started focusing on this thing with Catwoman. They didn't tell the story good. They didn't do Catwoman justice. Again, I don't know what Batwoman was doing there. Everything of this movie just descended into total ridiculousness fast and never recovered. It was a sad outing for a movie with Catwoman, who would have been a very interesting character had you played her right, but you didn't, and that was the end result. It was just a very uninteresting movie. Final rating on this one, 1.8 out of 5. I don't even think you should waste your time to watch this movie. I don't think it is interesting. I don't think it's worth watching at all. I think they just ridiculous. I think they just did it. If you want to give it a look just to see, fine, but I don't think this movie is worth checking out at all. I just think it's a failure. It's a real failure. Really, really failure. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about it. If you've seen the movie, let me know. If you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I put up new videos. And I will see you all in my next video. Take care.